Hi, I'm Nandi. I'm a licensed midwife, a trained doula based in Sweden, and I'm the mother of 3. Welcome to my channel. So the most frequently asked question I get is, why did I become a midwife? So I wanted to just sit down and talk about that for a little bit and take you back to where it started. So in 2005, I found I was pregnant with my first child. It was an unplanned pregnancy, but I knew that I wanted to become a mother. And during this time I read, like my sister said, too many pregnancy books. I really enjoyed the pregnancy books, and I really enjoyed being pregnant, even though I was nauseous for 27 weeks. But it kind of sparked something in me. I started reading, and I was so amazed by how the body works, how it functions, that we can like grow human beings. And somewhere down there in the, I don't know how many pregnancy books I read, I decided I wanted to become a midwife. So when my daughter was 1, I decided to go back to school to get my grades up so I could actually start nursing school. And nursing, in Sweden you have to be a nurse to become a midwife. So I did that for a year, and then I applied for nursing school. I started nursing school when my daughter was 2, and I graduated when she was 5. Nursing school for me wasn't fun. I thought I was going to drop out all the time. It was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a midwife, not a nurse. My sister said to me when I graduated from nursing school, she's like, wow, every single semester you said you were going to drop out or take a break, but you didn't. You did the whole 3 years. It was hard for me. I really had periods where I really questioned my choice. Looking back now, I'm so happy I did it, but then I really didn't know if it was going to be worth it. Fast forward a little bit, I started working as a nurse. I also studied for a while because I didn't want to start working for a nurse. So I continued doing some studies. And when I studied to become a nurse in 2009, I actually did a doula training. And that was kind of to give myself some motivation to continue with the nursing school. I just felt like I needed something that connected me to what I really wanted to do, which was become a midwife. So I did my doula training. I took on a few doula clients, but not a lot, because I thought it was very hard to combine with, I was a single parent at the time, so it was very hard to combine that with my life. I got my first nursing job. I graduated in January 2011 as a nurse, and I got my first nursing job that summer. I didn't like it at all, as I continued to study. And then I got, almost a year later, I got a job in, oh wait, did I? Yes, almost a year later I got a job in neonatal care. And I had, during my nursing studies, one summer I actually worked in the delivery ward as an assistant nurse. And one of the midwives, she had graduated that summer, but she had worked in neonatal care, I think for like 4 years prior to that. And I figured, like, I realized how useful that knowledge was for being a midwife. So I decided, okay, maybe I should try working in nursing again, because I couldn't really let go of the idea of becoming a midwife, even though sometimes I put it to the side and tried to do other things. It always kind of came back to me. So I went into neonatal care and worked there for 9 or 10 months. My life was quite hectic at the time, so I got burnt out. It was also a time period where you couldn't get a permanent job right away. So there was a lot of stress and things going on. So after I got burnt out, I kind of decided I was leaving healthcare. I didn't want to go back. I got pregnant with my second child, had him, and then when it was time to decide what I wanted to do, I said, let me just try to get a job in postnatal care. It was not common for nurses to work in postnatal care at the time, so I applied for what I thought was a summer job. But when I got to the interview, the person who interviewed me actually offered me a permanent position, which I accepted. So I was in postnatal care for about a year, but it was quite tough in terms of there was a lot of racist situations which I didn't know how to deal with, and that wore on me a lot, as well as I felt that I was in a place where I couldn't affect my my situation at work. Coming from neonatal care where people were very adaptable, they were used to changing routines and new research and new technology, and I felt like everybody was quite open to that. And then going to postnatal care where I felt like people were very set in their ways, it was quite rough for me. So I left postnatal care, and I decided to go into pediatrics. So I went into a pediatric infectious ward to see if maybe I wanted to be a pediatric nurse. Maybe I don't want to be a midwife. That was my thinking. But quite quickly I realized that being in postnatal care where kids say congratulations was such a huge difference to being in pediatrics where people were there with their sick children, and it was not a joy to be there. So I really missed that. I realized I missed working with breastfeeding. Like when I worked in pediatrics, they would always be like, "Oh, come, I have a baby here. You can help them with breastfeeding," because they knew that I was good at that. So quite quickly, actually quit and went back to postnatal ward and decided that I'm going to just do this job, and then I'm going to apply for my midwifery school, because you had to at the time work. I think you had to have worked full-time for a year in a hospital setting. And I think at the time I was kind of just not ready to go back to school, where I had been in school for so many years and really enjoyed it and actually taking extra classes and so on. Once I finally left school, I was tired, I was done. So it took me a while to decide that I wanted to go into midwifery. But I had baby number 3 before that, and during my maternity leave, I'd really decided that, of course, I want to become a midwife. I also had amazing co-workers in the postnatal ward that were like really telling me, of course you want to become a midwife, you'll be a great midwife, you'll love going to midwifery school. So I had a lot of support, and I had a lot of midwives around me when I started studying, which was really, really helpful. So in 2019, in the fall, I started midwifery training, which was very intense, and I think I might do a video about what it's like being a midwifery student in more depth, but 50% of our training is practical placement, which is like a lot. So there's a lot of studying and there's a lot of practical placement, and then fast forward half a year into our studies plus global pandemic. So we went from being in university, being home, doing everything over the computer. Nobody was quite ready for that, especially not our teachers. And so it was a lot going on in that period of time, as it was for everybody, of course. And it was tough. I won't say that it was easy. I don't know if it would have been easier if there was not a pandemic. I don't know, but it was tough years, or a tough year of studying. Then during my midwifery studies, my first practical placement, I decided I didn't want to work with birth, which had been my plan all along. Because of my first practical placement, I really didn't enjoy it all. I felt I had to do a lot of things that I wasn't, that went against my, how I want to work. So it was quite rough, but then one of my friends said, come visit my line of work, or my job, which was the smaller delivery ward. And I'm so happy I did, because that's actually what made me eventually go and work with birth. I also had a really positive experience at, well, when you become a midwife, you need to attend 50 births. So my birth number 25 was one of those life-changing moments, a birth that I will never forget. And that kind of solidified that, okay, I can do this. I really want to do this. I want to work with birth. So once I graduated, before I graduated, I applied for the job that I eventually got, but I didn't get it right away. So I went back to my old job in postnatal ward, and then eventually I started working in a delivery ward in a different hospital. For me, becoming a midwife has been really solidified what it was that I wanted to do all along. It's not an easy road, and there are so many. It's many years of study. It's 4.5 years of schooling, and I feel like I've been a midwife when I'm recording this for almost 3 years, but I feel like I still have so much to learn, and I'm learning all the time. And I like that. I like that I continue, that I'm allowed to continue to grow and to get better at things. And I love that I get to meet different types of people, and how amazing those first moments are as they become parents, and not only at birth, but also in the postnatal ward, or all these pieces to me is exactly what I'm really passionate about, and it makes it fun. There's a lot of variation at my job, and that's what keeps me going. I would say, if you are thinking of becoming a midwife and you're like, should I not? Try it. If you enjoy like watching birth videos, if you enjoy breastfeeding things, if you enjoy maybe abortion issues, if you enjoy gynecological diseases and so on, maybe you want to work in a youth clinic, maybe you're really passionate about sexual health or sexuality. Like, there's so many parts of midwifery that you can be a part of. You don't just have to work like I have done with labor and delivery and postnatal. I would say it's a very broad education that you can use for a lot of things. Of course, prenatal care, I didn't even say that. So for me, it has been, I'm so happy that I did it. And though I never felt like a nurse, I really feel like a midwife, and I am so proud of my profession, and I'm extremely proud to call myself a midwife.